but I started receiving consistent orders when I branched out from my local sphere. When I started putting myself in areas that I was nervous to put myself in, areas that I wasn't too familiar with, and getting in front of people that were complete strangers. And it wasn't because I feel like strangers will support you faster than people that know you. There's so much talk about that. But I think it's really because you just have the chance to meet more people that are interested in what you're offering. And ultimately, that's what I wanted. I appreciate everyone purchasing for the sake of support, but I really wanted to get in front of people that wanted to purchase because it solved a need for them. Hey there, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittney Bundles and I am a serial entrepreneur. And this channel is mainly about business insights and strategies that I've used and other entrepreneurs that I've worked with have used to excel our businesses. Specifically today, I'm going to be talking about my hair business and how I received my first hair order. I received my first hair order in 2013 and I was super excited when it happened. I didn't know before I received my order where my order was going to come from, how long it was going to take for me to receive my first order, or anything like that. So I'm going to walk you through the journey today. If you are interested in this video and videos like this, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Please make sure that you are subscribed, and let's get right into the video. So I am going to be looking over this way because I have my laptop on the side of me and I just want to make sure that I hit every point that I want to include in this video. So I'm going to just start off with a little bit of a backstory and why I wanted to start my hair business. I wanted to start my hair business for freedom, not just financial freedom, but also for more flexibility in my schedule. I did not like going to work and having to work mandatory overtime every single day. I felt like I didn't have enough time with my children. I felt like I didn't have enough time for myself. I felt like I didn't have enough time to really live life. And it was just really, really draining. And so I would go to work, and then on my breaks, my lunches, spare time, I would write notes about how just different ideas on how I could create that freedom for myself. And I decided to create a hair business. Now, when I decided to come up with my hair business, I didn't know how I wanted to sell the hair. I didn't know if I was going to just sell hair from like my home, like on hand orders where I just knew people and I would kind of be their connect to hair at that time. 2013 was very different for hair businesses versus now. There was not a lot of virgin hair accessible in beauty supply stores at that time. And so people that were wanting virgin hair typically found someone that they were working with or a company online that they trusted to order hair from, because it wasn't as accessible as it is now. And so I just didn't know which avenue I wanted to take. I explored websites. I also explored opening like my own beauty supply type of store. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to offer on hand orders and then also online orders. And I did that. I created my website. I let people know that I had hair on hand after I placed my wholesale order. Finding a vendor, that was a whole nother challenge in itself. And that's why I created my wholesale options and drop shipping options, because I realized shortly after getting started with my hair business that it was very expensive to find reputable vendors, vendors that were consistent. And it was very costly. You know, it wasn't cheap to pay for different hair vendors, and everyone had a minimum order quantity that you needed to purchase in order to get a certain discount for wholesale orders. And you still wanted to sample their hair, and you didn't know if you could trust the sample because you didn't know if they were just sending out one of their better batches of hair for the samples. And then when you actually placed your wholesale order, you know, were you going to get the same texture, the same type of quality, or was it going to be something else? Was it the same type of, same grade? There's just a lot of different variables when it came to finding a quality hair vendor, quality hair supplier. And then you have the communication aspect. So there was a lot that went into it. I talk about some of that journey on my channel here in my hair business playlist. So if you're interested in hearing more about my journey getting started with my hair business, please go to my hair business playlist and check out some of those videos there. I initially started off selling just bundles, and I think it was just bundles. And then shortly after that, I added closures. Later on, I added frontals. I did add wigs. I took wigs off. There were just some changes that I made along the way offering hair extensions. I initially offered so many textures and eventually scaled back to offering my 4 most popular textures. I'm going to go on and talk about preparation a little bit, how I got ready for my my first order. So before I had my first order, I'm marketing, I'm promoting, word of mouth. I'm letting people know, hey, this is what I offer. I have my business cards. I'm trying to leave business cards every place I go. This was, again, it was a different time than now. So most business cards were still very popular. It was a little bit more popular than they are now. Didn't see a lot of QR codes. Just business cards were a very efficient way to spread the word of your business. Not saying they aren't now. I'm just saying it was a different time, just trying to set the tone for the time that I was in. And, I also had different type of, different ideas that would toy around in my head as far as like how I wanted my packaging to be, what I was going to ship the hair out in, how long my shipping was going to be if someone placed an order. And I put all that information on my website as far as like the shipping time frames. I went to different websites to look for different packaging and branding material. And I ended up finding a logo on, I believe, Vistaprint at the time, and went with that. My website changed a few times before I found the website that really fit the aesthetic of what I was wanting my business, to represent. The color scheme changed a few times as well. And I remember just promoting on Facebook. I would go live a lot, sharing my inventory, showing the different textures. I did some giveaways, and I was doing all of this. And one day I got a call, and it was from my brother actually, and his girlfriend was interested. She saw one of my videos, and I think she heard from my mom that I was selling hair, and she wanted to support. So she placed the very first order that I received. I don't know if I really count that as it was technically my first order, but because I knew her and she was supporting me strictly because I believe she ordered strictly because of, her wanting to support me because she was dating my brother at the time. I was very appreciative. I'm still very appreciative, but that was my very first order. She called, she told me what type of texture she was interested in, how many bundles she wanted, and I went ahead, I got the bundles together, packaged them up. She paid me for the bundles in person, and I exchanged the hair extension. So that was my very first order. I was so excited. I recorded it on my website. There was a spot where you could go in and record your manual orders, and I'm like, okay, from this point, it's we're good. We got our first order. We're going to keep getting orders. My second order came from online, and my second order was not a legitimate order. I made a whole video on this channel about why it wasn't legitimate. I was actually scammed my second order. Someone placed an order for some bundles, and long story short, they disputed the bundles after the hair was delivered. They disputed it on the credit card. At this time, because I'm just now getting started, I wasn't really familiar on all the ins and outs on protecting my business. I accepted every payment method. I really didn't have clear guidelines on my return or refund policy. I just kind of had a generic return policy, and I accepted, like I said, all types of payment methods. It wasn't until a little bit down the line that I got hip to some of the games and scams that people will try to play on small businesses that I curated my payment methods to fit really PayPal, and I had to make sure that whatever merchant I was using at the time supported merchants, and I wouldn't have to fight as hard proving that I don't only want to say fight as hard. I wouldn't have to go through getting the money taken out of my account from whoever placed the order, their bank, and then having to prove that the order was legitimate. Like with PayPal, and I also use Klarna, the merchants that I decided to use going forward, it there was more protection on my side, so I didn't experience that again. And then after that, I started receiving more orders, and the orders were legitimate. And the orders would come from online. I got most of my orders from initially Facebook going live, and then word of mouth. So people in the community. Now, when I say this, don't get it. I don't want anyone to get it twisted. I did not receive as much support as I thought I was going to receive when I started my hair business. If you've been following my journey, you know that I also opened a salon, and I didn't get as much support as I thought I would get from my salon either. So I'm not going to make it seem like I just got an overwhelming amount of support locally, but I am going to say that I did get orders from like Facebook, different Facebook groups, and word of mouth initially. And then I realized it wasn't enough to really sustain and grow my business. I would get orders here and there, but when I started receiving more consistent orders, that was from online marketing. And I realized immediately that I can reach more people. I can be multiple places at once, literally through social media. Like, I can create a live that will continue to be on my page for people to see days later. I can be on YouTube creating a video. I can be on Instagram posting my content. I can be so many places online to promote what I'm offering. And marketing became stronger for me, and it became easier. And I started getting orders from YouTube as well, not just Facebook, but YouTube. And so you have the word of mouth from, my local people that knew me locally. You have Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. You also have like my salon now. And so orders were just coming more consistently because of that. I can say that it takes time. Initially, my orders, and I'm telling the story as best as I can to save us time. I mean, there was a lot that went into growing my business to the point to getting consistent orders. Before I was able to get consistent orders online, I would have like one-offs, meaning I would have an order here and then I may not get an order again for like another month or two. I tried different marketing strategies. And one of the first marketing strategies that I tried is paid ads. And it did generate more traffic to my website, more awareness of my business. But I found more consistency in niche marketing, where I wasn't really paying for ads, but I was just really promoting to a specific audience and being consistent. And I found that I got less website traffic, but the traffic that did come to my website were people that were really interested in purchasing, and they ended up purchasing. I also learned how to leverage traffic better. So instead of people coming to my website and then just leaving, or coming to my website and me not being able to engage with them, I started finding different ways to engage with website visitors, like adding a chat message on my a chat option on my website where I'm alerted if someone's on my website, and I can get on the chat before they even ask a question and introduce myself. I started being more active in my comment sections, using my DM feature to reach out and ask people if they were still interested in certain textures that they had inquired about before. And I just started really being more relational and making connections. And that's when I saw the difference in my business. So to wrap it up, my first order was from a friend of the family, my brother's girlfriend. I thank her for that order. That really made me feel the momentum and made me feel like this could actually work. But I started receiving consistent orders when I branched out from my local sphere. When I started putting myself in areas that I was nervous to put myself in, areas that I wasn't too familiar with, and getting in front of people that were complete strangers. And it wasn't because I feel like strangers will support you faster than people that know you. There's so much talk about that. But I think it's really because you just have the chance to meet more people that are interested in what you're offering. And ultimately, that's what I wanted. I appreciate everyone purchasing for the sake of support, but I really wanted to get in front of people that wanted to purchase because it solved a need for them, because it was something that they wanted, because they really wanted to invest in themselves instead of invest in me, if that makes sense. And so that's where my mindset started to really be. How can I become a investment that people want for themselves instead of investment that people want for me? If your friends and family are going to want to support because they want to support you, customers are going to support because they enjoy what you offer. And so I just wanted to be that on that side more so. And so, like I said, I started promoting online, doing more videos. YouTube is a great platform to use, even to this day. I hear some people say, hey, I'm tired of recording content. I'm still not even monetized. And what I can say to that is, even if you're not monetized, YouTube gives you the ability to be on search engines, gives you the ability to be visible and seen from people that they don't even know that you exist. YouTube has features where it will recommend your video to other people that are interested or maybe looking up certain things that are similar to what they're interested in. They may not know you sell hair extensions, but if you spoke about hair extensions and Google picked it up, or if you were recently looking at hair extensions on Facebook, you may just have a video about hair extensions pop up, and you may have found your way here from a recommended video on YouTube. And so because YouTube is Google, which I didn't know that Google owned YouTube until I got my Google set up my Google AdSense to get paid. But when I get paid from YouTube, it's from Google. And so just knowing how big of a platform YouTube truly is and how many marketing opportunities you're missing by not being on YouTube, it's enough to say, hey, whether you're monetized or not, if you have a business or if you're wanting to promote anything yourself, product, services, YouTube is a great platform to use. YouTube has been the biggest driving force in keeping consistent orders. My advice that I want to leave everyone with is, don't become discouraged if you started your business and you haven't received your first order. Don't become discouraged if you start your business and your first order is from a family member or a close friend. Just remember that this is the beginning, and there's always ways to put yourself in front of different audiences. And once you learn and strategize different ways to market yourself and promote yourself in front of different people, you'll have a better opportunity of gaining more support and getting more orders, more consistent orders. An order is an order, but like I mentioned, my second order was not a legitimate order. So it's not just about how many orders you can get, nor how many people can look at your products. It's really about being strategic and tailored and making sure that you're marketing and you're in front of the right people. If you're not getting an order, doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong per se. It just means you haven't found your specific group of support, and it's still out there. We just have to find it. I hope this video gave you all encouragement. If you have any questions, any input, feel free to leave it down below. Also, if you're an entrepreneur, feel free to leave how you received your first order or who you received your first order from. I think it will be interesting to leave down below, and I also think it will help other entrepreneurs watching. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I will talk to you all in the next video. Bye.